You don't pay me $20 and you make 20,000.
Yeah, that'll make it.
If I know you're gonna get 20,000, I can take my price a little up. And building my team and knowing the necessary people that I need. For example, I used to scare people away with a manager. For some reason, when people talk to you face to face, they always trying to, man, how much for your little? I want you to host my little party. Only one little 1 hour.
Why did you keep going? What made you think you were so hot stuff?
I didn't feel like I was a hot stuff. A lot of people, when some people had fame, they feel like they're the biggest and the best. And I've never felt like that.
What I like about this show today is that I'm getting some laughs out of it, and I'm also learning.
Hi, everybody. We want to welcome you to this episode of the Legacy Podcast. We're so excited again to have my dear cousin Loretta join me in hosting this podcast.
I can't believe we're in episode 5 of on our second series, actually. This is amazing. We are really covering a lot of ground, Franklyn. And here we are once again, another beautiful day in our Bahamas, surrounded by the beautiful artwork of Bahamar and the Echo Gallery, who are our sponsors.
Yes.
And of course, also the sponsorship of the Butler Legacy Foundation.
Yes. And of course, Loretta, and to our guests, our focus on this podcast is to talk about the legacy of Samael and Lady Caroline and to help other family members create their legacy through entrepreneurship. And so today we have a very exciting guest.
I am so excited because I never told you this before, but we have probably the hottest rising star in the creative space of acting in the Bahamas. And Franklyn, I always had dreams of seeing my name up in lights. I really thought I was going to Hollywood.
Well, listen, you may not have made it to Hollywood, but I can tell you, your name's been up in the lights with many lamp poles around here.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Why'd you have to go there? Why did you go there? I don't want to take away from our guest. That's a low one.
All right.
That's a low one. I don't want to take away from our guest today. We have the exciting, the inimitable, the most amazing young Bahamian actor, Mr. Dasquay.
Dasque.
Does he have a last name?
Listen, I don't know it if he got one to tell you the truth.
Dasque.
Dasque.
Okay, Dasque.
Yes.
All right, we got it.
Yeah.
First name is Das, last name is Quay.
Quay. Okay, Dasque.
Indeed. What's that big word you used just now?
Inimitable.
Inimitable. Okay.
That means
I keep
you're
it
not.
natural.
That means like they try to duplicate you, but
Okay.
they try to imitate you, but they never quite get the mark.
Inimitable.
Inimitable.
I'm keeping that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Dasque, welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's an honor to be here, actually. I feel like this is such a grand sofa and set to be on.
Oh, you just
with-
be careful on
with
that
you.
sofa
Yeah.
now.
This expenses? Is this an inimitable? It's a pleasure to be here, though.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So Dasque, when I think about you, who is the man behind Dasque? Because I have to tell you, every time I see the character Dasque.
Right.
I don't know who the man Dasque. Give us a quick intro on who is the man Dasque. Because you started telling me about shyness and things. I don't believe that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't believe it. So, in a nutshell, my name is Jaquay Adderley. A lot of people think my real name is Dasque. So, but they don't know. Oh, later on, we'll be able to educate.
Yeah.
But my name is Jaquay Adderley, born in Nassau, Bahamas. 31 years old. My people's down from Abaco. So big up to all the people from Abaco.
Abaco.
Yeah, in the building. Very quiet and shy, single parent home growing up. A lot of people don't believe it, but I'm an only child. So, you gotta find things to play with around the house.
Yeah,
and it's just you. You got 2 sticks and you pew, 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 right? That was just me. And just focus on school, focus on church, focus on youths, just focus on me and trying to find my way as I was rising up before God started to push me in the direction of my purpose.
Okay.
So very quiet, shy, scrawny, poor little boy, living here and just doing life every day.
But now today you're an influencer for 1 million people. People follow you. You've actually been recently a part of an international movie.
Yes.
And been on. I mean, that's a pretty long way to just come from how you've made that description. What do you say to Bahamians in particular who are in the creative space that may be definitely struggling to try and get the recognition that a Dasque is getting today?
Before you answer, I got to put this plug in here because
ahead.
people don't understand that when I first met you, I didn't know who you was.
Right.
But you was the fella giving me security badges at APD, apparently, you tell me. So,
to
Loretta's question, I want people to recognize that, listen, this fella talk about his humble beginning, being a son of a single parent.
Mm-hmm.
But was really started out as a security at APD, you tell me.
Yes.
And now you is an international movie
Stop.
star.
Stop.
What the word is? I forget it already.
Indemnable.
No. Inimitable.
Inimitable. That's it. Sorry.
I need a pen.
All right.
Inimitable. Okay. So yeah. It wasn't always like this where I am now. So my journey started when YouTube was getting popular and YouTubing became popular, and you had some Bahamians like Tap and Sawyer Boy on YouTube putting out videos, and it was capturing all of the young people. So one day I got a cell phone and I recorded a video just for fun, and I put it on social media. Someone took it, sent it to, his name is Tyrone Burrows. He's the leader of Collage Entertainment. A lot of people know that Stop Like a Man. The most popular.
Wait, say that again.
series.
Excuse me. See, y'all gotta slow down.
We
First
rolling
of
now,
all,
the train rolling.
Collage Media.
Entertainment.
Entertainment. Also known as
Stop liking man.
It's a video series called Stop Liking Man.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But it was to educate young men to stop following fashion.
Yeah.
I see.
So it had a positive
See,
connotation.
I want y'all to tell y'all. I want y'all to educate me because I know what this means about stop liking man.
I can
actually
inevitably
like
educate
man.
you.
I like man.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
want you to keep
we
liking
hope-
man, just so you know.
Okay,
hope.
all right,
That's
because
good.
y'all talking about stop liking.
That's good. So, that pop off when they started, and I was a big fan of them, and I did a video. Because of them, I did a video in the comfort of my home just for fun.
You hear that? It just pop off.
Yeah.
What
For
that
no
mean?
reason.
I have to tell you now, Laurie, I know you a little older than me.
But I want y'all to talk to me. What I mean? I just pop off.
It
was
just
a hit.
Something just.
It went viral.
It went viral.
It went viral.
There you go.
There you go. See, you know.
But I want to know what pop off means.
Okay, it pop off.
Okay.
You with me now?
I
It
gotcha.
pop off. It made me go and do a video for fun, and I put it on social media. He saw it, and he invited me actually to come to BFM where they had rehearsals, because what people don't know is Collage Entertainment, Stop Like a Man, wasn't just a comedy group. It was an outreach group. They did stage plays, and they did at Youth Alive at BFM. They put on productions.
I
So
see.
basically, they were using comedy to actually bring young people into the faith, into the Christian faith.
Yes.
And that was the medium. And obviously, everybody loves to laugh.
Yes.
Everybody, we know of other persons in that space as well that
Yep.
uses comedy, but, always wraps up with something, that brings you back to the real focus of the comedy. And that is, to strengthen your Christian faith.
Yes.
So
Or
this
just
is
a
where
positive
this is where you
agenda.
started. Interesting.
Started acting, attending with them, and I was in one or two of their productions. And then when you get into a new environment, you start to take shape of that environment.
It's interesting because when you look at it, even not just in the Bahamas, Franklyn, but especially within the Black church communities, the amount of churches that have given creatives a head start. The singing careers of the Whitney
You had
Houstons,
to
for
start in the
example, the Tyler Perrys of the world, always straight up. And who's the stand-up comedian guy that does
Who's that?
the tall guy? No foul language at all. Just
Ricky Smiley?
anyway, there are a lot of them. They come from a very strong Christian principled
Absolutely.
background, but they evolve into this international appeal. I mean, and so, obviously, when we talk also about generational lessons, we're all grown up in the church, haven't we?
fact.
Especially in the Bahamas.
Some of the biggest artists started in the church.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That is my point.
And I was telling Dasque before the show, he grew up in Montego and would know my sister Gina, who you know, and Jeffrey very well, because he grew up in Montego's
Right.
and my nephews Jeff and Gerard. So I could see, when I didn't know Dasque, he always reminded me of my nephew Gerard, who think he's a bit of a clown himself,
Yes,
actually.
he's a clown.
Funny enough. But yeah, so
Yeah.
this Christian thing is important. So go ahead and finish tell the story about BFM.
It actually, after joining their group, it opened me up to a new world of entertainment and videography and production and social media posting and comedy. And from there, I became a youth leader at Montego for my youths. So I would lead youth meetings. The pastor would come on and preach, and I would make it like the best experience that these young people could indulge in. Because
You made it appealing.
Yes, because I knew what I wanted
And you
when I was young.
connected with them on the level that they understood.
Exactly. So fast forward, I started to, the encouragement, going back to your question, what I would tell creatives, everything that I've done to get where I am now, I did afraid. So the first, in 2013, Iman, a very popular gospel artist, asked me to host his first his first gospel concert. And I was like, why are you calling me?
Yeah.
Dynamite Daisy is the one who doing
Yeah.
Christian comedy and hosting and stuff like that. He's like, no, just do what you do at youth meetings. Just call who's coming next. That's all I need you to do. And I was like, okay, fine. So now I wanted to build a character because I was a fan of Dynamite Daisy. So that's when Bertram O'Bubbler was born.
Absolutely, I know Bertram.
And the way he mix-matched his outfit was because inspired by Dynamite Daisy.
Who is, excuse me.
You don't know Dynamite?
Excuse me,
if
I
you
know
don't
Dynamite Daisy.
oh.
I want to know, who is someone Bubbler?
Bertram
Bertram
O'Bubbler.
O'Bubbler.
Bertram O'Bubbler? Who's Bertram
I gotta send you
O'Bubbler?
these series and stuff like in man. So
it
you
was
can
my
follow.
persona to host events.
Okay, so see, I didn't know this.
Right.
I mean, you're not just educating our audience, you're
Right.
educating me
You
as
as
well.
well, yes.
Because I didn't know of a Bertram O'Bubbler.
My first my first persona to get into the hosting field was called Bertram O'Bubbler. So he would wear these mix-match clothes in these vibrant colors, a Christmas hat any time of the year, 2 different shoes, 2 hats, and he had a raspy voice. He would always talk like this. And that voice, believe it or not, was inspired by Bishop Neil C. Ellis himself.
You're
You
joking.
know?
Wow.
See, that's
Wow.
amazing.
Wow.
Now, so you were already putting yourself into character.
Based on the people that were influencing
But
me.
you know what I think we also have to recognize as a creative in the acting arena, obviously you're a very effective communicator. And maybe sometimes people don't understand that in terms of success, that is a huge ingredient to be able to communicate effectively, to be able to connect. If you're not connecting with the audience that you're communicating with, obviously you're not going anywhere.
That's for sure.
And I believe that the importance of effective communication, whether it's the costume that you wear or the way in which you convey your message, is very important.
Yes.
That makes the difference in an A-class actor and maybe a C-class actor.
And even on a deeper level, you know, a lot of persons that get into certain things do it to escape reality.
Yeah.
So me putting on personas to do what I do was so I grew up in a single parent home, and I was kind of like protected, like overprotected. My mother didn't want me to go anywhere to do anything. I couldn't go in the park to play ball because to her, they shooting people, they kidnapping people, children, they fighting all the time. So I was stuck in the house or with her. And that started to frustrate me at one point. Like, I was frustrated. I want to be like the other cool kids going out partying, and they've been to soccer ramen, they've been out here to this, to fish fry, and I just home, stuck. And that started to frustrate me until one day I went to youth meeting to church, and this guy walked up to me and asked me if I'm okay. I said, yes, I'm fine. He said, you sure? I said, yes. He said, you sure you aren't frustrated in any way? And I looking at this man like, who you is? Why you walking up on me, asking me so much questions? But something in me pop off.
Pop off.
And I just started to...
You mean you release it?
Yeah, I don't know this man, but I was like, well, to be honest, my me have me so protected, so covered, so like I want to go out and have fun. I want to
You
experience
want pop off.
the world. I want pop off.
I'm
And
sorry, I'm not going to use that
he
word.
actually, you're using it right though.
You use it right, Lord. Trust me, you could use it.
He actually in that moment encouraged me. He said, she isn't doing that out of spite or just to keep you away from.
She isn't punishing you.
Right. She's doing that to protect you for when God is ready to release you to the world. So think about it as an incubator where you're being groomed and protected and just preparing you for when it's your season to come, because it's coming. And I looking at this man. I was a young boy looking at this man like, if you don't come up my face, sir, because I don't know what you're talking about. But years later now, I see exactly. And that's why I said earlier, I don't, what was it? I
can't remember.
Gamble. I don't gamble. I never was out and about to get into certain things like
Absolutely.
drinking. Right. So,
Absolutely. So you've actually found success without, let me say this, by embracing really good moral values.
Yes.
So that's another ingredient in your book of success.
Yes.
You know, sometimes people think they need to be following the crowd, probably getting into negative behavior, doing all kinds of things to find their notoriety or their, fame. But what you're telling us essentially is that your mother, like a lot of us, and coming from Sandy Point, Abaco, which I can also identify with because, I grew up on a family island as well.
Okay.
You would have come from very strong Bahamian family values, despite the fact that you said you're from a single parent. She did a lot of things to guide, protect, and mold you. And hopefully you haven't deviated from those, but yet still found great success because of that.
yes, and it actually spills over. A lot of persons say, man, you know why I like your platform? Because you don't be cursing and carrying on and you don't be doing no vulgar things. And I said, I think it's just my upbringing and my morals spilling over into my work. I can make you laugh. I can entertain you without
Like
getting
Sinbad,
vulgar.
that's the one I was trying to remember.
Sinbad,
Like
okay.
Sinbad. I
Okay.
mean, I'm not trying to diminish your
No.
fame but Sinbad is, I find him to be one of the most amazing
He's very
comedians,
talented.
and everything is clean.
Yes.
Which goes to show that we do not have to be vulgar, we do not have to be obscene, we don't have to be any of those things to be a success.
Yeah. Yes.
You ain't diminishing his fame. You're just showing your age with Sinbad, but we can leave that alone.
A lot of people don't know who
I
Sinbad
am
is,
so
man.
sorry. I'm going to pop off on you,
I look up to Kevin Hart, though. You know Kevin Hart? Please let me know Kevin Hart. Oh, my God.
You don't know Kevin Hart, Lord? Anyway.
Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
I know Tyler Perry.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, he's
my
the one that
brethren.
always dresses up as the old lady,
Yeah,
right?
Medea.
That's my brethren.
Medea.
Yeah.
I've actually been to Tyler Perry's
Studio?
Confession. I've been to Tyler Perry's studio in Atlanta.
Okay.
So
Okay,
I do know a
congratulations.
bit about that, but the reality is not because I'm old that I don't know these people.
called
Now
you
I
old?
just want to let you know,
Who called you old?
I didn't call her
Franklyn.
when I said she dated herself by
Oh,
identifying
Franklyn,
Sinbad.
get out of
Okay.
here! I
I
just
thought you
don't watch
called her old.
TV.
That's true. So listen,
That's my boy, though. Me and Tyler used to shoot marbles in the backyard back in the day.
I see.
Why you laugh?
so that's
Why
good.
you laugh? Yeah, man, that's my boy.
No, because we know you're not telling the truth. I just big you up to say how morally upstanding you are. Tyler is so much older than you, I think.
Exactly. You don't even know. As you were saying, sir.
So listen, man, you're talking about stop liking, man.
Yes.
You find the success and stop
Never
liking, man.
say this. Be
Right?
funny. Go ahead.
So this whole career, has it all been all the way up from there?
Yes, it kept building from there. When I was a part of Stop Like a Man, as popular as they were, people didn't recognize me. I was always the background actor. And then in 2013, Iman asked me to host his first event, and I did. And that's when the youth arena started gravitating towards me. Hey, come to my youths and host on a Friday. Hey, we having a lock-in, come host. And I started.
But 2013, how
13.
old are you? Let's put this-
31.
No, how old are you in 2013?
Yeah,
You
He was a
give me
little
a pen
kid.
and paper. Give me a pen
He
and
was,
paper.
he was just
Who
a little
your maths
kid.
teacher was?
19, Miss Campbell.
Miss Campbell was my maths teacher
So
too.
19, like, let's go with
Oh,
that.
you want me to tell you what I get in BGCSE?
Oh, don't
They're
tell me.
they're still recording?
Yeah, still
No.
recording.
Okay,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can talk about it.
Yeah, after
What I
Afterwards.
like about this show today is that I'm getting some laughs out of it, and I'm also learning. You
Yes.
know, I before you go any further, Frank, come on. We got the best comedian in the Bahamas, yeah, and you won't keep this serious?
Sorry, man,
Man,
sorry.
I watched this guy on this show, March On.
Yeah. He was
Oh my
hilarious.
goodness! How many roles did you play? I remember him taking that man's chicken.
One role, singer with the gun and pants.
And he was trying to get.
The short pants were too long, or the long pants were
Yeah,
too
you
short.
were simple.
You couldn't.
But smart.
Yes.
You were simple,
But smart.
but smart.
Simply smart.
I mean, we perceived you as being simple.
No.
But you actually were smart.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
But
And you
one
did
thing-
an
one thing
incredible
you didn't
job.
do well was sing, so don't fool with
No. When I hit that woy, remember when I hit that woy?
that. Yeah, that didn't work out too well.
And I just did that. We just came from Turks and Caicos doing the show, and the Bahamians over there,
They loved it.
Loved
they couldn't
it.
wait.
They loved it,
Couldn't
huh?
wait for us to come over
See,
there.
and this is what you find so amazing. I mean, you know, we do this show all the time, and sometimes the things that we're not quite sure is going to be very appealing. Those are the things in your career that you may not place a lot of emphasis on, and then all of a sudden you realize that one little thing went viral. That has made you a star.
Yeah, so my first viral video was this song I did, funny enough, called Current Off Dread.
I remember that.
It was a song about BPL. Remember, BPL used to go off almost I could call their name?
Yeah, well, you got a name, yeah.
Oh, sorry. We could edit that out.
No. You go ahead. We
BPL,
love it. We want you to be
Power
you.
used to be off almost
Oh, no,
every other
yeah.
day. So I randomly just woke up and wrote this song, recorded it just off the cuff, put it online. Bahamians in the States, Bahamians locally, Bahamians on the Caribbean islands was playing that. They did love it because it was so relevant.
Absolutely.
And it was so just relatable.
You may be able to make lots of money on that one day when BPL goes green, and they're going to be so reliable. They'll be
No,
able
I
to say,
didn't-
"Look, this is how we used to be. Look
They
where we are
didn't
now."
do nothing then, so
Yeah.
I didn't make it do nothing now.
Oh my goodness!
You know, so but that went viral, and that's when everybody was like, "Who is this guy?" And
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
finally started to tap into Dasquay, which was branded by my father. So I didn't grow up with a relationship with my father.
Yes.
A lot of people like to know how Dasque
How you
came
got
around.
that
Yeah.
name.
Yes. So I didn't grow up with my father. Was always trying to get a relationship with him. And funny enough, being transparent on the sofa, inevitably.
Right. Now, remember, you
Inevitably.
are on the sofa.
I am.
So be honest.
I am. So didn't have a relationship with him. Always wanted one, but it was a little difficult. And at the age of 21
Wow.
was when I found out I had 8 siblings.
8?
Wow.
8 siblings at the age of 21 by a
Wow.
random woman on the side of the road. She pulled up on me. She's like, Jaquay, the boy from the social media. I say, yes, ma'am. She said, how you doing? How your mommy? I say, she good. How are you? She said, you're fine. Boy, you look like your brother. Hey, Lavon. I said, no, ma'am. I'm the only child. She said, what you talking about? Your daddy is Lawrence Adderley? I said, yes, ma'am. You have a brother named Lavon who lives in Canada. Do you know who Charmaine is? No, ma'am.
It's
That's your
amazing. It's
sister.
amazing.
And she just started calling
off
off
your family.
names. And so when I found out I had siblings, I went and looked for each one by one, and put us all in one WhatsApp group. Just so, because family, that's something I always wanted. So put us in the WhatsApp group. And then after that, I started dating this young lady. And for one of my birthdays, she surprised me to a trip to Freeport where he lived. And there was rumors going around at the time that he had dementia. Didn't understand what it was back then. But she surprised me with a trip, and when we got in the car, we were driving from the airport, and he looked back and he said, hey man, how was the flight? This was when Sky Bahamas was around. I said the flight was smooth, a little rocky in the middle, but we landed safe. Then the wife asked me 1 or 2 questions, then he turned around and he said, so yeah man, how was the flight? And I was like, it was smooth. It was a little rocky on the middle, but we got here. And she asked me 1 or 2 more questions, and then he turned around and he said, how was the flight? And I look in the rearview mirror, and I saw her looking at me, and in her eyes, she didn't say anything, but I saw in her eyes, she said, it's almost like an agreement that what you heard is true. He has memory loss. So I became depressed in that moment immediately, because I come for answers. Why you didn't tell me?
Absolutely.
I had siblings. I always wanted siblings. Why you wasn't there? Why you keep saying you coming? and you never come. I hear all these stories about how big you was, and you used to bring over, you was a part of this promotion group, bringing over Sugar Hill Gang and all these people to come to the Bahamas to perform. You used to manage boxes. You was big in entertainment. You was big in Winn-Dixie. Winn-Dixie?
Absolutely, Winn-Dixie.
Winn-Dixie, big manager. Like, I could have rubbed shoulders with you. I could have been, now I can't get my answers because now you have memory loss.
Wow.
So even in that, I said, I'm just happy to be in his presence. Let me make the best of it.
So tell us how you got the name Dasquay.
So in the end, when we went to dinner at Zora's.
Yeah.
We were sitting and we were talking to my sister who I just met, Charmaine. And she said, boy, you're so handsome and you look just like our brother, Levon. I said, like, thank you. And my daddy leaned over and said, Dan Levon? And I look at him and I was like, I'm ready to go home. This is so depressing. He can't even remember this me. And she said, no, man, Dan Levon, Dasquay. So even though it was such a sad moment, frustrating moment,
Out of that, you brought the
later
name.
on, I was looking
Dasque.
for a name, playing with some names. It's Quay. It's your boy Quay, Dasquay, the Bahamian Quay.
Yeah.
It's like, no,
Dasque.
And you get to honor the memory of your father as well.
The memory of my father wrapped in the name.
Absolutely.
Wow, that is a
I
very,
feel like you need to
very
clap on that.
interesting story. But we're
Yes.
very happy that, through your journey, you also got to reconnect with your family, the other side of your family. And out of that, you've made this now very internationally recognized name, Dasque.
Yeah, Dasquay. Who that is?
Dasque.
Dasquay right there. Making
And that's
the
a
Bahamas proud.
Bahamian way of saying that.
Yep.
Yes.
That's it.
So that's
Yep.
amazing.
See, you getting it, man. You getting it.
Yes.
Who call you old?
Hey.
Talking to them quick.
Yeah. So that's great. Obviously, there's a lot of meaning and significance as I hear the under themes of what I would call your faith. Obviously, the story of your father is another great, that you're living this. It's amazing.
I know you would have been proud
Yeah.
to see I ended up in entertainment doing big things.
Legacy.
Just like
That's
him.
the point
Yeah.
I was going to get. There's the legacy.
I
And
see
so
how you tired of that.
at that moment, you probably didn't even know that. I mean, because I gather, I don't know how much you knew of your father, but it seems as if you're definitely walking in his footsteps. If he was bringing in the Sugar Hill Gang, and all these artists to the Bahamas.
Well, he was on the promotional side,
I see.
but apparently he was such a lovable guy who always had punchlines, had people laugh, and he was the life of the party.
I see.
So I do relate to who he was, even though I wasn't there. And that really feels satisfying to me, because I didn't get to know him, but I
But you
feel
got
like
the genetics.
I get to
You got the
connect with
genetics,
him.
and,
Yes.
and the most important thing, as we look in all of this, sometimes in our society, people know a lot more than we know they know, and they can then impart to. Thank goodness that lady shared so much with you that you didn't
the
know.
blue.
But your genetics are unchangeable.
Yeah.
So you've obviously inherited quite a bit, both from your mom, but also from your dad, and that's where we talk about also the generational growth and sustainability.
Yeah.
Yes.
So talk to me about what you hope to accomplish. Obviously, I see these legacy threads. Was the point I was going around your faith and this whole idea of your dad, now you doing this. What is Dasque hoping to accomplish through creative arts?
I'm so grateful that I was able to build a platform where I do what I love every day. So it doesn't feel like work. I left the container port, my security job in 2018.
Was that your last job, by the way?
Yes.
Wow.
No. That was not his last job.
But it was.
That was
Tell him.
when he was working for someone else.
That's what I mean.
But he is constantly getting jobs now.
I
As,
agree.
Okay, so that wasn't his last job. That was his last paycheck from other
from-
people.
Yeah.
Paycheck. I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, that was my last thing, 2018, until I went on my own. And I was being pushed by the Holy Spirit. Saying, you got to go. And I keep saying, God, go where? It's like, you got to jump and trust me, you can fly. And I said, I don't have wings. Where you want me to go? And he keep pushing me on the edge.
And you flew.
And I flew. I trusted him, and I told him, when I left my job, I said, God, I do what you say. I just need two things from you. One, take care of me, make sure I straight,
Yeah.
because you tell me jump off the cliff. 2, let me make a substantial amount of money to be able to pay my bills and, live comfortably, and even have money in abundance to bless other people. And he has not failed since.
Absolutely.
Like, it's
So you
it's
had a
such
parachute?
blessing. Huh? No parachute.
You flew,
I flew. I'm still flying
and
today.
you're still flying.
Still growing.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Every year I try to do something big to scare myself. Like I said, fear, doing it afraid is one of my big, like, things I stand on.
Like what? Give us an example.
As Bertram Butler, I did 3 comedy shows because I felt like I was popular since social media had so much likes. I felt like, okay, they want to see me in person. I did my first comedy show at Rakino Monka's church, his old church off of Blue Hill Road, and 12 people showed up.
Wow.
Me and my hard head do it a second time. 20 people showed up. I don't know what coming to me to
Do it a third
to
time.
do it a third time.
Well,
But I said, you know what, I got to do it bigger. Let me bring an international guest, an
With you.
international comedian over. And I brought Anna Douglas, and that was a sold-out show.
Wow.
Third time's charm.
How were you able to? This is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
How were you able to go from not being recognized by our people, our own, Prophet never accepted in their own home,
Hometown.
but yet bring in an international? How did you afford that?
Begging?
Awesome.
Yeah, sponsorships.
Awesome.
Sponsorships taking care of my overheads, and you charge at the door, you pay your dues, and you go.
And then once you brought in a recognized name, if you will, you then found that people appreciated what Dasquay was doing.
People like to see Bahamians. We like to see our people on big stages and big platforms.
Absolutely.
If we could celebrate anybody, it could be someone on a big stage or platform in the light bulbs, street lights, like you
That's
say.
I tell you, to see
Right.
your name in lights.
Right. So to
not
have an
street
international
lights.
person on your
Or lampposts.
to have an international person on your card,
Yeah.
they're like Quay doing some stuff. So I'm like, how do I keep this momentum of growing, of doing something that I'm afraid to do, stepping out in faith? So every year I created music one year, did a song for Shawnee called Gap. It didn't really pop off, but it exists.
ain't pop off
right.
thing.
Gold in your belly, country on our back.
Yeah, I remember
If
that.
you race with Shawnee, just know that you get Gap.
Awesome.
Because she's Gapier, and you know what
yes.
Gap means.
Oh yes.
Okay.
I was down at the
Right, at the-
international
okay,
relays the
okay.
other day, and she
So
could gap
She
you.
gapped them.
She could
Yeah.
gap you.
Yeah.
So I did a song one year just to prove that I could do it. I did a comedy shows, I did live recordings, and this year I'm going to give some exclusive information that nobody knows.
Tell
Right here
us.
on the
Courtesy
Legacy
of the
podcast.
Legacy. Yes. In October, I'm going to be doing my first ever hour comedy special in front of a live audience.
Oh, wow.
I will be there to see you because I believe you're very funny and very gifted.
come in?
Once you invite
Once
me.
you invite us, and we
Okay.
have seats at the front.
What kind of chairs you like?
Just like these ones when we sit on.
Okay, I
You know,
just was
told
thinking,
him, I
you see
tell
me
you,
look at
yeah,
it?
you know, I told you these
Yeah,
special,
I
right?
could bring this
okay.
chair
All right.
right by the stage, let it curve. But
I want to be a comedian now. I'm crazy.
a company is flying over to produce it.
Oh, wow.
And to put it on streaming platforms.
No, but
Wonderful.
on a very serious
Bigger than
note,
me.
I believe that
Wow.
what you're doing is
Congratulations.
amazing. You sometimes have to go after your dream. Not sometimes, if you're going to be successful, but you also have to go out on a limb to prove that you are there. And so, you sometimes also keep things close to your chest,
Yes.
so that people do
Don't
not
sabotage
shoot
it.
down your or sabotage your dream. I believe that the journey that you're on is going to require you to continuously reinvent yourself, continuously come with fresh material. Persons of your caliber, your mind is probably always going.
Always.
And so I want you to tell us, about how do you create these new characters and new content?
It just happens. I have no formula. I think it's just downloads from Holy Spirit, from God. I just wake up one day and I have this idea.
You mean you don't observe people like me and Franklyn and then decide, boy, let me go make one story on them too?
Sometimes content is inspired by what's happening. So one big thing that local comedians do is make light of serious situations, so it's more palatable, or you don't feel as bad. So like, let's say with some tough governance frustrations, hurricanes, and different stuff that is affecting people, but you make comedy out of it just so it is more digestible.
You mean like when they say
like current off dread?
Like when they say,
Right.
"Oh, it wasn't a tsunami; it was a
It was a
salami."
salami.
Yeah, you got it.
Or when my good
and
friend,
things that are relatable to us.
my good friend,
You
when
know?
they say there was a storm and how much tree bird and do goat survived.
Exactly. Yes. And, it's also satirical, isn't it?
Yeah.
We have to create satire of our leaders.
It's so beautiful. What people don't see on the back end is our inbox when people are messaging us saying, thank you so much for keeping me laughing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for helping me through such a hard time. Thank you for helping us through COVID, keeping us laughing because it was so frustrating.
Absolutely.
No job, no money, no food. You can't go nowhere. I was depressed. I was
You
on the
are
verge
medicine.
of suicide.
You
Yes,
are medicine.
Laughter is medicine.
And people who don't laugh,
They got gas.
Oh.
They feel like if they laugh, they can
oh
let it
my
out
God,
and that's
please
it.
stop.
It's true.
No, but I was about to say laughter. It says laughter is good for the soul.
It is.
You
It
know,
up-
so I mean, you are a medicine.
And that's why I take my
or people
brand
like
serious.
yourself in that arena are a medicine. Yes, we all want to kill ourselves laughing because life is so serious.
Stressful.
We get so caught up in all of the mundane stuff and the stresses of life.
Yeah.
Laughter is good for the soul. I'm taking you home with me.
Let's go. Be bringing
Oh
the
my
couch.
goodness.
So I'll make an offer to you. You said you wanted to go to Hollywood.
I've been
You've been to Hollywood
and back.
on the stage.
No, just on the plane.
So when last you been in a video? Or
No, just on the
production?
plane.
Just on the plane. So you want to do a video with me in the future?
No.
Do your acting?
Go ahead.
No.
I don't want.
This is a Bahari modeling thing now.
I don't
You have
want
to-
no one.
she's a Bahari
I don't want
model.
anyone
Okay,
laughing
okay.
at me. I want people
No.
laughing with me.
Okay. So we'll write a role where they're laughing with you, but at me.
Oh,
How does that sound?
would
Sounds
be
good.
so
That sounds good.
amazing.
But yeah, man, I do what I love every day. This is who I am. This is what I've created for myself to live comfortably, to do what I love every day. And it isn't just me going on social media or on stage just for laughs. I take my platform very seriously because, like she said, it is medicine. Laughter heals you spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally.
Yep.
It does so much. So whenever I touch a stage or press record, it's more than just how silly can I be? What's the most clever punchline I could come with? How can I get this product to be seen and bought? But
Or
how can I
also
make
getting
you
people
laugh?
to look at themselves.
Yes.
That's it.
Because I believe that many times the lines that comedians and actors such as yourselves use, is really a reflection of who we are. But we sometimes don't even want to look at ourselves in
That's
the
point.
mirror.
That's the point.
So you're reflecting to us, or deflecting almost, who we
Yes.
are.
Yeah.
It's like people who drive small cars, these little march and
Oh,
pass, or
Jesus.
this little toy car, who feel like they're a speed racer when they're on the road. And you clown on them,
Yep.
but it's also telling you, like, slow down, you're only in a
Absolutely.
no big Rolls Royce.
Yeah, or a new
Don't-
truck.
Don't
'Cause
speed
you're-
out the corner, see someone coming and then slow down.
So that's
know?
where I want to ask more of an entrepreneurial question.
No problem.
So you tell me now, your first show had 8 people,
Yeah, 8 to 12.
8
Mhm.
to 12.
22nd
The
one.
20 the second one. Why you continue? What make you think you were so good that people really want to hear you after 8? I mean, because I think this is where
People get
many
discouraged.
of us have a gift.
They'll get-
We believe we got something, but we often don't push through.
Right.
Help me understand why you believe that why you believe the third one is going to be sold out.
Well, first of all, before he answers that, this man was directed by God,
Well,
Come on and preach.
He was directed by God.
God is
Woman of
direct you,
God.
and sometimes we see when God directs us, we supposed to have more than 8 to 12 people. Let me say that. That's the point I try to make. And so I will help that next entrepreneur.
Oh, my goodness.
Or say God
Oh,
tell him something,
oh, my
but the money
goodness.
ain't in the bank.
I
Or
love
it could
it.
be
I
a
love
test of, what would you do with the little before I
Absolutely.
give you?
Much.
much.
Boy,
Boy, see, that's why I like you. You so smart,
could preach,
man.
brother.
You
You could
smart.
preach.
Yeah, man.
And you're good.
I could have preached.
If you can take care of the little, I will then bless you with much.
Come on, woman of God.
It's stewardship.
Amen.
Awesome.
Amen. What would you do with that seed?
Awesome.
You know what I mean?
So that's great. Tell me about why you pushed through. I know you're a man of faith. 8 to 12 people, then 20, then sold out.
Why did I keep going?
Why did you keep going? What made you think you was so hot stuff?
I didn't feel like I was a hot stuff. A lot of people, when some people had fame, they feel like they're the biggest and the best.
Yeah.
I've never felt like that.
Wow.
I've always felt like I could either be better or I'm not the biggest one in the room. And I think that humility keeps me grounded and keeps me always like, I need to get better. I need to get better. But the persons around me be like, you hit the ceiling, you break through the ceiling. And I'm like, but I ain't feel like that. So now I need to come up with another.
Is break through the ceiling the same as pop off? I just want to know now. See, because I got
sense.
It's kind of close.
It's an antonym.
Because you break through the ceiling.
Ceiling, right.
But earlier you was
through,
pop off.
yes. But we ain't popping off. We breaking through the ceiling. We're exceeding expectations, going bigger than you thought.
All right.
Right.
Okay, so your level of success now has gone to break through the ceiling.
Break through the ceiling.
So
That's how
does that mean like all that you're really, I'm not trying to be funny or facetious here, but you're actually making money.
I am. So a lot of persons start off with, when I started off, I would get paid in food baskets or like a little $10.
And that was good
$20.
to like fill the little hunger. But
Pack
now
a
you
noodle
getting
and I
real
good.
money.
Pack a noodle and I good. That hasn't changed. I still eat my noodles. But I just make a lot more. Being in my field, especially when you're trying to show the Bahamas or the world the importance of comedy, the importance of entertainers, influencers, and comedians, what you have to do is build a structure so they see you ain't just out here a kikikiing.
Yeah.
I have a business. I have a team. I have a name.
And you
I
have
a
to pay
brand,
your team as well.
and I can show you a return on your investment. If you trust me to market this pillow, I will do a funny video. The humor's going to draw people. And then, because Dasquay endorses this, how much that costs? I want one. Let me get one of these pillow. Dasquay had me video, and you see a return on your investment. So building the trust.
And Dasquay is seeing a return on his time.
Right. So you kind of level the playing field. You don't pay me $20 and you make $20,000.
Yeah, that'll make it.
If I know you're gonna get $20,000, I can take my price a little up. And building my team and knowing the necessary people that I need. For example, I used to scare people away with a manager. For some reason, when people talk to you face to face, they always trying to, man, how much for your little, I want you host my little party, only one little,
They want to negotiate.
one little 1 hour.
They want to talk to you one-on-one.
Right. And they come in with the little, and don't break my pocket now. We ain't got no money, man, Dasque. But she really
they
love
want
you.
the best.
I want the best.
That
I
way
want the
they're
top
bargaining
name, but
you down and trying to
I
put
ain't
a
got no
price
money.
on your
I ain't
talent.
got no, but she love you and she want you to her party. But when you tell them, okay, no problem. Yeah, man, what the price is? Let's say $20. Man, you can't do a little something better for me. I got $10. What you could do for $10?
Nothing.
I could do half of that. Man, but be there for an hour and people ain't could come early. And then what I used to do is take the $10 thinking that's money, and I there for 2 hours before the event start. So I didn't give them two hours free just sitting there.
Exactly.
So learning and growing. Now you put in a fee in case they start late. Then they start coming up with contracts. After this time, I gotta go.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
So
Things
it
to
is a
protect yourself.
business. It is. And you must be, well, I think it also means that they must respect that your time is money.
Yep.
That's the first thing. And secondly, that you are not a trifling comedian.
Exactly. And a lot of people used to book you and say you could get exposure. Yeah, man, if you do this, you could get exposure. People could see you and know you. And I'm like, people will see me and know me already. You know what I mean? You got to pay this gas.
Yeah.
I got to get ready. I might have to buy something in color of the theme of your event.
So how
Buy
do
a
you
new suit.
manage it now? I mean, because seriously, You're absolutely right. People are always trying to place a value on your worth.
Their size, yeah.
And so at the end of the day, you have got to make the determination that your value is going to be determined by yourself.
And it is proven.
Okay.
I have statistics and you know, I have
Absolutely,
paperwork to show you how much views you could get, how much sales did
But
you
not
have.
only that, if you know that your time is X amount of dollars per minute, because I mean you're talking minutes, and I mean an hour is a very long time for a comedian, or an actor for that matter. So the point of the matter that I'm trying to make here is, if they cannot afford you, then you just have to walk away from it, don't you?
I tell people, don't come and talk down people's price. Let them give you the price. Let them know what your situation is, and you never know, their heart might lead and they say, you know what, I'll do it for that price then, just for you. But when you come and start to talk down the price immediately, you turn them off. But luckily, I'm surrounded by fellow actors and entertainers where if I don't want to take it at a certain price, I can pass it off and everybody can eat.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I had this fake manager that I would tell people when they come to me and say, yeah, man, we ain't got no money, but we want you for X, Y, Z. I say, okay, send an email to my manager. And they'll send the email, and then I'll go home and I'd open the email and answer the email as my manager, because I was the manager. But their tone changes because now they're dealing with someone who ain't taking, his price is 300, his price is 400. Okay, that's a little out of our budget. Thank you so much. And they let that dead.
Yeah.
If it was one-on-one,
Yeah.
man, go away, man. Don't be like that, man. We's payments, man. We grow up together, man.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I know. And you know, the reality also, you know, I'm going to tell you a very real story. I know when you're dealing with, you're now an international name because you're doing international productions. And, you know, we will see you just elevate from here or pop off or break through this. What's the other one?
The ceiling.
Break through the ceiling. You know, but no, I mean, those who've already broken through the ceiling and, you know, are almost household names, when you speak with their agents or their managers, because you don't really speak with them, they tell you these are the requirements. You know, even if they're doing a free show,
Agreed.
it's not free because you've got to provide the accommodation, you've got to make sure the private plane is bringing
Per
the person.
diem.
By the time you look at all of these things, you say, boy, this ain't free after all. This looks like it can cost me about $1 million. But you know what? That's what my time cost. You
And
know,
people
and
love to see the
and I'm not
value.
even charging you. These are only the things to get me here.
Absolutely.
We had to fight for people to see the value of what we do. They always wanted to size you up and give you a certain amount based on that budget. But like I had this thing where there's this thing I would do at your event that would help you raise money at your event. And you could take care of some more of your bills that you weren't able to cover before the event. So it's like there's ways that we could work
Together.
with each other.
Right.
Just don't ask people for no little. Don't size people
Yeah.
down. Don't price people before you ask them.
Well,
how
that's
much it
like coming
costs.
into this beautiful art gallery, you know, and they
Exactly.
are the sponsors of this show. We're surrounded by probably thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of work in
Yes.
this space.
Yes.
And, you know, people want to come and take a look at it and say, oh, well, I don't see the value. Well, if you don't see the value in it, just keep going.
Right, that's what
you
I
know,
did
because you
earlier
really do
before the
not
show.
need, you really do not need to be here.
Right.
So if you do not see the value in the sweat equity and the work that I put into my
And the
work,
creativity.
then of course,
The same for you.
absolutely,
Right.
move on.
I walked over to one of the pieces and I looked at it and it was very beautiful. And I saw the price of it. So I walked away.
And
Simple
the
as that.
reality is you may not be able to afford that
No.
right now,
But
but we know that where you're going,
when I opened Dasquay studio,
right,
Absolutely.
I
exactly.
need some Bahamian art pieces on the wall.
Absolutely, and you'll have those there. But the point I'm also driving home is that creativity and talent is not a gift.
Yep.
No.
You know, sometimes people think it's a gift. Oh boy, you gifted now, and then they want you gift them.
For free. Yeah.
For free.
It's not a gift; it's work.
That's great.
Yeah.
You talk about the story of being your own manager, the fictitious manager.
Don't tell nobody now.
I know.
Okay.
Don't tell anyone.
I ain't gonna say nobody. So
Yeah, don't tell no one, please.
shh, everybody. Shh. And I know Miss Campbell told me you wasn't good at maths. I don't
She
mean to
told
bring it
you
up in
that.
the past, but I just saying.
Someone tell you he wasn't good at math?
He old math teacher was my
So
neighbor. She
why
used to
are
teach me
you
maths.
saying that?
Because really what I want to
She
find out
told you
is... Yeah, what...
I thought me and I had a...
you had to take it, right?
Wow.
I love it.
But help me understand, as you developed your career, at which point you recognized you needed the support structure? That is and what came first? Was it the manager, the accountant? When did you realize, like, hey, in order for me really to scale, and I put this in the context of scaling a business like we do, you know, selling phones or whatever it is in our business or groceries, when did you realize that this infrastructure you needed around you was necessary to make sure that you could do this full time? Because, you know, when you deport and you do an ID cards, that check come in every week and
Yeah,
you
you
straight.
know that there.
You know that there.
Yes.
The rent could pay because you know the check come in on Friday or twice a week or
Every other week,
bi-weekly, whatever that
bi-weekly, yep.
situation is. But as a creative, sometimes you don't know when your next gig coming. At which point you recognized you needed support to help you figure out what your lifestyle was, make sure you make enough money, and then you had to pay them because every time you
Yes.
add somebody, you got to pay them too.
That's a fee, so that means your price going up. I had to build my team when I saw an influx of requests coming in, when I saw the persons who were trying to downprice me, and even because I was trying to be a one-man band, because I had to take the requests, fight with these people on the price, then I had to send them an email, then I had to communicate with them, then I had to prepare an invoice for them, then when they pay, I had to check to make sure to pay there, then send them a receipt, then I had to get the timeline from them, have a meeting with them, and do all this stuff, and it was taking so much off of me. And then I started double booking myself. So I have 2 gigs at the same time on a Saturday, and I got to message somebody and say, unfortunately, I got to pick and choose which one and tell you, sorry, I can't do no more. I double book, and then you see how unsatisfied they are, and it comes off as unprofessional,
Yes.
and you don't want to be unprofessional.
Yes.
So I said, you know what? I need to put certain things into place. Even the manager now, as a mediator or someone to look for jobs for me, but also to scare off the give me one lils, the little people who want big things for little money. And that's when I had to get it so I could have more time to be in the creative space. When you're doing so much business, it takes you out of the creative space. So I'd come from answering emails, editing videos, sending videos out, getting feedback from the client, and then I had an hour to bed and rush to my next gig, and I ain't even prepare mentally.
But I imagine that this person has to be a very trusted part of your life.
Everyone who's been on my team is trusted and close to me.
Yeah, it has to be a very trusted people, because, you know, when they start managing your time, your resources, your income, everything, so that you can be the best that you can be in the arena that you occupy, which is acting. Obviously, that team also needs to know you well enough to be able to make decisions in your absence.
That's true. I've had 1 or 2 persons work with me who, you can tell the difference between people who are doing it for the money and people who know you. So they just taking gigs, and you turn around and say, I don't do that kind of gigs though. I don't work with this kind of businesses though. You need to know who I am to know who I'd work with, who I wouldn't work with. Their tone, understanding me. Am I in a frustrated space where you could say, Quay, let me take care of this. You go rest, or you go prepare yourself for this thing coming up. Luckily, I have 2 people now, 2 of the closest people to me right now are actually on my team. So they know me. Before the business comes in, they check on me, the vessel first, then the business comes afterwards. And that's the most beautiful thing anyone could have.
Excellent.
And that's what you would say to other persons in the creative spaces.
I would say, do it afraid. I would say, make sure the people around you are trusted. And I would say, stay consistent. You see a lot of people that have come, hit fame, became a popular name, and then
plateaued.
Yeah.
A one and done.
Go through the ceiling, and then you wonder where they gone. Because you're looking up, and it's like,
I guess that's what happens when you pop off.
And he or she was just up there.
Pop off and don't come back down.
Instead of popping off, they just pop.
They just
like
pop.
balloon and just disappear.
Oh my God.
So you have to stay consistent. If you love it, it'll never feel like work.
Yeah.
If you are inspired daily, you'll always come up with ideas. If it's your bread and butter, you'll always be at it because you need the money to come in to take care of your bills. And I think my consistency and just my enjoyment of making people laugh and seeing the feedback and what I know it does beyond the laughs, what it does internally for people. Even the silent outreach that I do, where I help young single mothers and I feed them and give them groceries and stuff, like all of that is satisfying to me. It makes me feel like my life has purpose.
So that's like your corporate contributions.
Yes. My life has purpose.
I want to ask you a bit about the movie that the Pages of My Heart 2.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know anything about the Pages of My Heart 1.
Okay.
But
we can put
tell
you
me
on.
a little bit about this movie that you're already in, that's going to be airing.
As I continue to do what out of sight, out of mind, I'll say that. If you're not out there doing anything, nobody knows you exist. So because I'm always out there, persons are always looking for certain things, certain people to fit a criteria. And this Bahamian that lives in Florida produced a film, and he said, hey, I'm looking for because I'm a Bahamian, I want to put the Bahamas on the map. Yeah. Give me a Bahamian that's funny, that has a following. And he went and asked a few persons, and everybody said, Dasque, Dasque, Dasque. So through Erlene Cartwright, who has Journey TV, she does booking on the side as well. So she reached out to me, said, there's this person that wants you to be in a film, and I got that excited. And come to find out, he's a Bahamian that lives in the States producing movies. He wanted me to be in the film. I went over, filmed. He gave me creative freedom, which I loved, because I asked him, can I do this? Can I put boy in there? Can I, you know? He's like, have creative freedom, just do what you love. And it was such an amazing experience. And he has a lot more great things for the Bahamas in store.
Excellent.
But when does it actually premiere or air?
This summer.
Awesome.
It's in film festivals now, but it's coming out on streaming platforms this summer. Part 1 is already out, so maybe you can catch that. Part 2 is about to come out, and he has a lot more coming.
Fantastic.
And you've also I want people to appreciate where your meteor is going, because you also were recently part of the set that Tyler Perry has just done something apparently.
Yeah, that was very exciting. You know, there's the background actors when you're watching a movie, you just see the people in the background sitting, eating, walking, talking.
And Boychum was in the back there at the time.
Right. No, Boychum ain't come out there.
I get you.
Boychum should have come out there. They wouldn't been able to focus on Tyler, you know. But when they reached out to me, I grew up looking up to Tyler Perry, especially during his stage play days. Very hilarious to me. It was Christian comedy. That's what I was in. So I looked up to him, to now, years later, being able to just be on the set. Not speaking role, nothing big. Just to be in the room was amazing. To see the time and the effort and the money and what goes into doing what he does now.
Where did you guys do that? Was it in the Bahamas?
Yes, in Atlantis.
In Atlantis?
Yes, in Atlantis.
Amazing.
So that's coming out. That was exciting. And what was most exciting was how many Bahamians was able to be on that set.
Wow.
So whether you do it because it's Tyler Perry, or you do it because you love acting, or you do it to put on your resume. So one person say, oh, tell me about your work, and you're able to now say, I was on a Tyler Perry movie.
Yep.
You know, whatever your purpose was for, it's just incredible just to be in the room with someone you look up to and that's doing big things, because in those moments is when, you know.
How do you encourage
Yes.
other people that, you know, younger people now that are coming up behind you, how do you encourage them to prepare themselves to become an actor, a comedian, someone who's going to be on the stage or going to be in theater?
There are schools, acting schools, colleges. There are local platforms where you can learn to act and get training. Or if it comes naturally for you, just do it. Just go for it. That's what I did.
We have greats like Sir Sidney Poitier, who as a Black Bahamian coming up, you know, at a very crucial time in world history where blacks were not considered equal, but yet to become a huge, probably one of the biggest names in Hollywood.
Yep.
Really where do you see yourself eventually propelling? And what is it that you see for yourself in this arena? I mean, he was more big movie.
Yeah.
I understand, as you said to me, there are so many different platforms now. You may not be in big movies. You may be doing it in other arenas. Talk to us about that a bit.
I have never had an end goal for myself. My whole life has been, when a mother or father grabs a child's hand to lead him, I feel like that's what God does for me. Like, I don't walk through the door until he opens it. So I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, I can't wait to get to Hollywood. Hollywood doing some weird things these days, to be honest. And there's so much other platforms, Netflix, Hulu, just TV shows on, any network. I have 2 shows on cable.
Yep.
Again, that was one of my big things that I did just to prove that I could do it. I have a spelling bee show. Have you ever seen it? Bahamian? You don't watch TV.
I don't watch
So
TV.
I have a spelling bee.
But when you go on, I can watch you.
Okay. Bahamian, it's a spelling bee show that's on Rev. And then there's another show called Broke Bosses, about 2
hilarious
young
One of my favorite
Bahamians
shows.
that are trying to make it through the hood, but they're teaching life lessons to young people.
And it's called
in a
what?
Broke
Broke
Bosses.
I want you to speak up. I want people
Broke
to know what
bosses. Broke Bosses. 2 broke. You know what broke?
you do. I know what broke is.
Okay.
Like you ain't got no
You was
money.
broke before?
Yes.
Really?
And all of us ever been broke. Broke. You mean like no money?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Broke. Broke bosses. So it's a play on word. You're being broke, but you're still a boss in your mind. Because that's where it starts, So I've been hitting the television world already. So as God opened the door, I'll walk through. If he wants me to go bigger, I will. International movies, I will. I still do stuff to prepare myself now. It's IMDb.
We did tell you could ask questions, but you're trying to turn this interview around. I have already established for you, Mr. Dasquay. First of all, I am not a comedian. Mr. What?
Dasquay. No, I like how you say it. Say it again.
Anyway, I have already established
Said my pinky
I
out,
am
ma.
the interviewer.
Okay. So IMDb is a website that showcases all actors that have been in film, and it lists your work.
Okay.
So I still do little stuff to prepare myself for if a big company says, we want you in this Netflix show.
Okay,
We want
thank
you in this movie.
I see.
Yes.
So it's like a rating or
Yes.
something like
and just
that.
a resume of your work.
Okay,
international
good,
work.
good.
So I don't have
But
a
even
clear,
other actors need to know that as well,
Yes.
because you're giving us jargon and information that those of us that are not in the acting world
Wouldn't know. That's
would not
true.
know. So
It's an online
I
resume.
like that, and don't worry, you could ask me
Yeah.
questions.
Okay. Do you know what is Brigham Brown?
Brigham Brown mean when you break up something, bam.
Okay.
Is that a movie too?
You could spell let me put you on my show right quick. Spell the word. I'll give you $20 right now. I like how you cross your hand. You ready? Spell the word. You know when something smells bad, what be sales payments? Spell that. If
You
you
are
bad,
crazy.
spell that. $20 right now if you spell that. Say H. So to answer your question, I don't have a clear
How
I want
do
to
you
make it to
spell
Hollywood.
or whatever?
Right. So to answer your question, there's no clear I want to make it to Hollywood. I want to be a big name. I just want to do what I love every day until I die.
You haven't spelt the word for me.
So another question for you.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
So that's great. Let's talk about. Obviously, you've had a tremendous degree of success. Still a young man, as far as we're concerned. How are you paying it forward? Obviously, you're blazing the trail and creating opportunities for yourself. But what is Dasque doing for others? How are you paying it forward?
In the spotlight, what I do and the success that I gain inspires young people to want to follow suit, to want to become TikTokers, YouTubers, hosts, and entertainers to make money, because I've proven that it can be a lucrative business. Behind the scenes, like recently being on a movie set, I met this guy that Hollywood and these movies and TV shows would come to him and say, hey, we have a scene about two lovers. Can you give us a song to go with the scene? We have a fight scene. Can you give us a song for this scene? And they go to him to look for music for their show. So since I rub shoulders with him, I'm currently planning an event where all of our Bahamian artists can come and sit in the room with him so he can educate on the things you can do and need to do.
So you're not just keeping the knowledge to yourself.
Right. So I do
you're
things
spreading the
to
knowledge.
Connect. When I rise, I find ways to
connect
pull
others
with me. If I can't take a gig, I throw it to the other
But
hosts
not only
out
that,
there.
it's strength in numbers and understanding.
So we could get recognized.
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
As
No, that's a
Bahamians.
that's a great way to also give back and be inclusive of others who probably may not have had that opportunity.
Absolutely.
That
And only people who care would do that. You know,
Yeah.
some people make it big and it's like pulling teeth or pulling Velcro to get information. Well, how
Absolutely.
did you get there? Who did you talk to? And they always gatekeep. No. You make music. I love your music. He's put music in films. Let's have a
Conversation,
event.
yeah.
Try to get your stuff in. Don't have nothing to do
So
with
also
me.
a
But it's all for the
facilitator,
country.
facilitating for the bigger picture.
Yes. So, yeah, that's what I do to pay it forward. I inspire. If somebody reaches out to me, I don't gatekeep information. I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. I'll advise. I'll consult. And I'm doing things to connect what people deem as the big world or the big stage with the people who are trying to get there.
Absolutely.
That's me. That's my heart.
I want to
didn't have a silver
congratulate
spoon.
you for having the courage,
Yep.
really, to step out of a comfort zone. A lot of people, I think, in the Bahamas as well, they feel that to have a permanent job, especially if it's one that they consider a government job, for example, they figure, okay, well, I'm set for life. You obviously had a pretty lucrative job that you could have still been on, but you answered the call of your true belief and you stepped out of that comfort zone, took the chance, and you flew. I think that's a very important life lesson for people that do want to do something that they're not even happy. They're not happy in what they're doing,
correct.
but they're afraid to move to do what they will make them happy.
Or when they fail, if they do try to launch off. Sorry, what happened to us just now?
Boy, I
we
don't
go to
know.
a joke at the same time.
Yeah.
She ain't joke though.
No.
I was like, man, thingy.
Because
Yeah.
I did not spell or whatever that word was.
You know, something. Reiterate. Sorry.
No, I was talking about people leaving a comfort zone of a job
To go pursue their
and to
purpose.
go and pursue what they truly love, but not having the courage.
To be honest, I don't think it is for everyone. If God don't have that for you, I don't think it'll work out. And I want to be careful the way I say that. If that isn't the path He's carved for you, because even though you want to go on your own, you still need people to help run certain
Absolutely.
businesses. You still need people in the registry.
Absolutely. In the
I
registry.
ain't about that.
Yeah, don't fool
I ain't
with that.
about- I ain't
Leave that
about
alone.
That's
Leave that
not-
alone.
You still need people at BPL. At cable, but
There you go.
at Echo
There you go.
to help sell you need painters to paint. You need people to run you don't only need the painters to paint, you need the people to run the facility to help
Absolutely.
them be seen and painted. But if everybody's on their own, you wouldn't have a studio.
No,
You know what I mean?
I do agree. And, I think that is also important. But there are some people that truly have a burning desire to do something that their heart is leading them to do, but they're afraid to make the move from a security blanket to maybe, sweating it out for a couple of months or,
A lot of
whatever.
people tried to, it didn't work out, so they give up. They don't try again. I tell you, on my third one is when I hit
So persistence
gold.
is also important.
And consistency and just educating, trial and error. People see the error and they give up. They don't try it another way.
Absolutely.
If putting your business on Facebook isn't bringing you clients, try Instagram.
Absolutely.
Try the newspaper. Try word of mouth. Try to collab with somebody who has a following.
Try an influencer.
Right. Try an influencer.
Try
you know?
Dasquay.
Try Dasque.
That's it.
You understand? But it's just taking what didn't work, the failure, and reworking it and trying it a different way until it hits.
Yep.
And that's what they don't do enough.
Well, I can tell you, as a young man, and I have a son who wanted to follow his dreams, and maybe it wasn't my dream, but I think also as a parent, it's important to also allow your kids to know that the confidence that they have in what they want to do, you will support them. You know, I think that's also, you know, an earlier guest said to us that, you know, you don't have to be validated if you're valid.
Absolutely.
Okay? And I think that while you don't have to be validated, you do want to know that your mother is proud of what you're doing and all of that. So I encourage young people now. The only thing I don't want you to be is idle.
Yep.
Right.
You know, I want you to be productive. Yes. And if you're happy in your productivity, that makes it even better. And so I want to commend you, Dasque, for the steps that you have made as a young man, because like I said, you're around the same age as my children. And I think it's important that we reinforce, we as a society, reinforce what our young people are doing, because we're all constantly saying, oh, these young people ain't up to nothing, they ain't doing nothing.
Yep.
You know what? And there are those of you that are out there making a difference.
Yep.
And so I want to be one of the first people to commend you and tell you I'm very proud of the steps that you've made and that you will continue to make. And wherever it takes you, you know, whether you pop off or break the ceiling, I want you to go do it.
Once it in. And I got it. Yeah. I got it. Yeah. I got it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
But before we go, you know, I think that, you know, when we found out that we were also looking at the ability of creatives to build legacies, to be able to be entrepreneurs, I wasn't quite sure what our executive producers were looking for, but you know, I'm so happy that we brought you into this space, because you are an actor, but we've brought you into an artistic space. Yes. So I want you to realize that we've come into one of the most beautiful artistic and creative spaces in the Bahamas.
Agreed.
It's the Echo Art Gallery here at Bahamar. We're so grateful for them for sponsoring them. We're so happy to have you sitting on that lovely sofa
Thank
they
you.
provide for us.
I've taken this
no,
afterwards.
you can't take that with you.
I'm taking
and
it with
I
me.
just want to thank them once again for allowing us to use this space. And Franklyn, before we close out, I just want to say, you know, I'm so grateful that the Butler Legacy Foundation is also sponsor of this, because we're getting the opportunity to meet diverse people that me in my little slightly older generation probably
seasoned.
okay, in my Sinbad, I probably would not have known. So I want to thank you both for
Absolutely.
You know, making this happen.
Yep.
It's very fun.
Loretta, thank you. You know, I always get the pleasure of hosting this podcast with you. That's great. Let me tell you this to you. I just admire your humility, man. The way that, because, you know, I tell people before having this opportunity to engage with you today, I didn't know the difference between Dasque the man and Dasque the character.
Right.
Because
Jaquay and Dasque.
Jaquay and Dasque.
Dasque!
I know, but Jaquay, I didn't know the difference.
You didn't know Jaquay.
I didn't know Jaquay.
But now you know Dasque.
I know Dasque and Jaquay. And I have to tell you, you know, I wish every blessing that the Lord continues to order you. It's just how you've
order
threaded,
your steps.
You know, your creative pursuits with your faith, with the story of, you know, being a single, a son of a single mother, and the relationship with your father. Those are things that really make a difference. A lot of our young men and creatives in particular don't get an opportunity to reconcile that, and so they often use these platforms to act out, and that's why oftentimes the comedy may not be as clean or as refined as you have. And I think you've done a great job. Shout out to you. Of course, you know, I'm a big supporter wherever we can, and I say this to other corporates as well. You're looking for a good Bahamian influencer, someone who's a great example of a young male. Dasque is the man. Dasque. Call Dasque. All right?
I love it.
I just want to say to our audience, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of the Butler Legacy podcast. It brings us such great pleasure.
It's not all serious game, man.
Absolutely.
Today was
we
like
crack jokes all the time.
We're a part of the comedy.
Even you as a comedian, Laurie.
no,
even as you.
I am not a comedian.
I give another one. You lick off one or two funnies today.
I agree. You lick off. You did lick off one or two funnies there.
Oh goodness! Thank you so much.
So we just want to
guys.
thank you guys. Please
Thank
continue
you.
to follow us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or wherever your favorite Spotify, or wherever your favorite platform is for podcasts. We love having you. Continue to follow us, like us on Facebook, all of our social media platforms, and we hope you enjoyed this episode. Dasque,
Yes.
shout out to you, my brother.
Thank you very much. And if y'all can spell $20 right now.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye.